Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Monday, March 10th, and we are here trying to provide you with unconventional and entertaining insights on your money and also your life. And by the way, in that order, it's actually wrong. It's about your money because it's Jill on Money, but it's about your life. And so when you're listening to this show, you might hear stories about other people's lives. They may seem really rich. They may seem really like, wow, how'd they get that much money? But the reality is everyone has a very interesting story to tell. And whatever it is that's on your mind that you need a little guidance around, Mark and I are both certified financial planners. And that means that we took some hard tests. And for a long time, I was an actual practicing financial planner before I sold out to be the media person. You know what, Mark? I really would have sold out by just staying a financial planner. I would certainly be much richer than I am now. But I love this and I love my work and I love being able to answer your financial questions or your big life decisions. And if you want to get in touch with us, it's very easy to do. Mark has created this beautiful website called jillonmoney.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a contact us button. When you click it, a form will pop up. That is the form that turns into your email. If you're shy, you don't want to come on the program, no biggie. Just give us a lot of information. If you would like to join us live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, check out all of our content. It lives there, including our free weekly newsletter, links to my book, and also links to our other show called Money Watch, which we drop on Saturdays and Sundays. Don't forget that Money Watch show. I really want to try to get people who are kind of just starting off on their financial journeys. So if you know someone like that, tell them to get in touch with us. We'll put them on the Money Watch show. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, today we are talking to Elizabeth and John. They are on the line with us from Pennsylvania. Hello, Elizabeth and John. Who wants to go first? Let's go to Elizabeth first.
Okay.
How you doing?
Jill. I'm doing great. Thanks for having us on.
Of course. So what brings you to our airwaves?
Well, I need someone to look at our big picture for where we're at right now. And I have some more specific questions as far as I inherited an IRA last year when my father passed away. And I'm a little on the fence about what to do with this. It needs to be dispersed over 10 years. I understand that. But I need you to look at all my numbers and then try to help me figure out what to do with that.
I mean, we're going to Vegas. That's what we're going to do with it. Stop with you sound already nervous about it. And let's go have some fun for goodness. Okay, let's do some basics. Elizabeth, how old are you?
I'm 54.
And John, how old are you?
55.
Okay. Are you guys both working full time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How much do you guys earn?
Together, about $400,000 a year.
That's awesome. That's great. And do you have kids?
Yes, one son, first year of college. We have him totally funded with 529, no problems there.
Okay. How are you guys saving for retirement right now? Not forgetting about the inherited IRA. What do you guys have?
So we have quite a bit.
I love quite a bit. It's my favorite amount.
Together in a 401k, we have 1.7 million. I have a traditional Roth that only has about 62,000 in it.
Hold it. You use two words together. Traditional Roth?
I'm sorry,
Roth
traditional IRA.
Okay, traditional IRA.
Yeah.
And that has how much? 60 something?
62,000.
Okay.
And my Roth has 361,000 in it.
Okay. John has $736,000 in his traditional IRA. And how much in his Roth?
114,000.
Awesome. That's a lot of money you guys have saved up. What about non-retirement?
Okay, so we have a Vanguard S&P fund, and that's 1.5 million.
Whoa. You just have $1.5 million in that one fund?
You got it.
Yes.
Yeah, baby. Roll those dice. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, this is another one of my questions at the end.
Okay.
We also have an energy fund through Vanguard. That's at 81,000.
That's an odd thing to have, but okay.
I would like to play around.
All right, you play. Hey, Mark, you see, we're going to Vegas. Stay tuned.
No, we're not.
Oh, okay.
We have a real estate fund. That's at 34,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a little bond fund, which we just started last year because I'm worried about how much I have in stocks. My bond fund is 28,000 only.
But everything's at Vanguard. One big account. Yes.
All of that. Yes.
Got it.
Yes. And we also have a CD that matured that I didn't do anything with yet. That's 26,000.
Okay. And in your 1.7 million 401k and those traditional IRAs, are you equally as aggressive in those funds, or do you have a bigger, like a more balanced approach?
Equally aggressive.
Like basically, if I looked at this $2.5 million, I'd be like, holy smokes, of the 2.5 million, like 90% is in stocks.
80%. I just looked at it. I figured it out.
Oh
81% exactly.
Okay, got it. So there's a lot of money. How about a house? You have a house?
Yep.
Yes.
What's it worth?
It's probably worth about 900 to 950.
Okay. Is there a mortgage outstanding?
No, not for at least.
I had a feeling. Mark's giggling.
Why ask that question?
I know. It's so silly. I should have said, and I presume there's no mortgage outstanding. Okay. So kids taken care of, house is good, a bunch of money saved. You're in your 50s. Are you thinking about retirement at this point or not?
I'm a little torn. So yes, I am. And so we had a pretty big health scare 2 years ago with cancer, and it kind of reset my whole attitude with where am I going? Everything is different now, and I want to make it to retirement. So I have been thinking about earlier retirement than initially I thought.
So Elizabeth and John, obviously you've got a ton of money saved up. Do you have a sense of how much you are spending and how much you'd like to be able to spend? What's that a number? What's the expenses that we're looking at?
We're going to say 7,000.
That's it?
It's probably around 6,500, but yeah, 7,000. We live in a very low cost of living area.
But don't you want to travel? What about all those trips? That's with travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Holy smokes. Okay. How much money is in the inherited IRA from your father?
Okay, I do have some other money I inherited.
Oh, hold on. Let me do the inherited IRA first, because that's in my retirement.
I think this is going to be a biggie.
Yeah, really? All right, let's go.
Well, it added to, okay. So the inherited, this is in Fidelity. So this is spread stuff around.
Okay.
There is a Roth in Fidelity, which is 50,500.
Okay.
And there is a traditional IRA for 649,000.
And those are the two big pieces of, is there any other asset that you inherited from dad besides these? Okay. What else?
So I have kind of an S&P at Fidelity for 639,000. I do have a very small inherited IRA that's at Schwab for $1,900. And we have, so this is my issue. He was he liked to play in the stock market like I do. That's where I got this from. And I have a whole slew, 14 individual stocks held at Schwab. And that's worth altogether, they're $558,000.
Okay. Just so a little clarity just on the tax situation on those stocks. So you inherited this account. So everyone listening, remember, when someone passes away, you, as the person who inherits the asset, get what's called a stepped up cost basis. So if your father passed away a year ago, the cost basis of that 14 individual, that account, there's like two accounts that I'm very interested in. What's the cost basis on the S&P 500, the 639, and also on those individual stocks? Do you have any idea about that, what the cost basis is?
I do not.
Okay, so here's what you're going to need to do. I'm not saying you should keep everything. I'm just saying before we actually think about selling things, what would be very helpful would be to have the date of death valuation of both, right?
I do have that. I do know about that, but yeah.
Okay. So if you have that, well, I'm interested in, because the S&P 500 is a fund that is an individual account that you inherited, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to know what the date of death valuation of that. So if you have that, and then also the individual stocks, those are the two things we want to know. It can't be that much. It's a year ago. So stocks were up, but if it was 580 and 500, it wouldn't surprise me, right? That you made that much money. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't spend any money. What else is going on that I should know about? Is that all of the dad stuff? Is there a house that you had to sell or something like that?
Nope. Everything that's all taken care of. So that's all the dad stuff. I do have a few other little things.
Of course you do.
So we have three individual stocks that we started quite a while ago, and together they're at 118,000.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a money market that's about 120,000. Our savings account is at 435,000.
What? Why is it so much?
Well,
That was inherited money.
It was some inherited money.
Oh, okay.
Some.
Yeah, some of it.
Right, I know, and I have to do something with that. And we also have, we have checking, that's like 20,000. And we both own a business. We each have a business. And right now I have about $200,000 in my work checking, and you have about 100 in his. And then we both own our buildings, our business buildings. So that could get counted in.
Oh my God. All right. Would that be sold? In other words, if you were can you sell your business that you're in? You can.
I'm not counting on that. In my profession, that used to be the norm. You would sell and most people would retire on that. I never counted on that. And the way my industry is going, that is unlikely to happen. I think eventually I will just walk away.
But you would have the building. Would you want to sell that building?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What's the building worth?
400.
400.
Yeah.
400,000.
And I'm sure there's no mortgage on it.
No.
What about your building, John? What's that?
No, we own that free and clear as well.
Oh, but how much is it worth?
Probably about 175.
Now, John, the health scare happened to you too. So are you both considering like how you would think, like, would you both say we're done? Like we're kissing our 400 grand goodbye at the end of this call?
we would do that. Yes.
Are you excited about that prospect, or does it scare the crap out of you?
I think it scares us.
I feel like you need a purpose in life, and that is a big part of what.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not saying you're going to do nothing, but I think a health scare always gets your priorities just laid out in a different way. So it is not silly for me to just reiterate you are in such incredible financial shape, right? You know that. You hearing it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let it sink in. Okay. Mark, how long do they have to live before they plow through all their money? 180 years old? What would that be about?
Yeah, the only thing missing from this call is like, two $70,000 a year pensions.
No, but you guys don't have pensions, right?
I have one pension that will pay me only $580 a month.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. That's nice. It'll be coffee. That's great. That's your coffee. It'll be a coffee.
My Medicare supplement.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So let's just say that you both retired right now. You understand that you have absolutely no problems. You have so much money, forgetting even about the money that you inherited from your dad, Elizabeth. You've saved so much money and you just don't spend a lot. Is the health scare, the cancer diagnosis that you had, would that suggest that it's something like, okay, I'm living with it, it's hanging over your head? Does it encourage you to be like, oh, I'm just going to take my Social Security as soon as I can? Or like, how are you thinking about it?
So I looked at my Social Security numbers, and I think I would probably take it early rather than wait till I'm 70, because, nobody knows if they're going to be around. And I just feel like if I take it at 62, it'd be $2,700. If I wait till 70, it's $4,900.
Yeah, but it doesn't even matter to you.
It doesn't.
Either way, I know. And just to have the money in hand. I think that if you have a change in, look, you hear us talk about this all the time, that if you have a life expectancy that's been curtailed, then taking it early is better. Is your idea right now that, you'll spend your money, you'll have a good time? What else do you want to do? Do you want to like set your kid up? Do you want to, should we be, yeah.
So this is, I'm not totally setting him up. This is how we were brought up, and this is what I believe. I'll provide an education and I will help you make your life, but I'm not making your life for you.
Ooh.
And that is how we were raised.
Mm-hmm.
Make your own way. I'll provide an education. I'll provide everything possible for you, but I'm not just handing out money.
Okay. How old's this kid? 18 or something, or 19?
Yeah, 19.
So the inherited IRA, which has 650 grand. You do have that 10 years to get the money out, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You wouldn't want to do it while your household income is $400,000. I'll tell you that
Right.
much.
Yeah.
So one thing that I think makes a lot of sense would be to wait until you don't have that income. And, why don't we just use the traditional IRA that you inherited and make that, just get rid of it over 10 years and, it'll go away. Just take out a bunch of money every year, pay the tax on it, whatever it's going to be, 100 grand or 120 grand, whatever you want to do. You can do that. I mean, obviously it almost works better if you have like zero income. So take as much out as you can and stay within a tax bracket that makes sense. You have to take that and the Schwab IRA. Just get rid of those as, Okay, so that's priority one. We're going to use that to live on. That's kind of your $7,000 a month. It won't be quite enough, but it'll be close. Okay. And then we have this issue of all of the money that you guys have that hasn't been taxed yet. So here's my question to you. Do you have an inclination that would kind of push you towards getting, once you retire again, starting to convert your 401k, the 1.7 million plus the almost $800,000 you guys have in your traditional IRAs? How do you feel about converting that to a Roth?
Yep. I have thought about that and just pay the tax and do that.
Yep. I mean, you don't have to do it all at once, but you've got time here, right? Because remember, you don't have to pull money out of your traditional accounts until you turn 75. So to me, first, let's get rid of dad's inherited money. That is the first priority, right? Now, you guys are you're probably in the 32% tax bracket about, okay? So if you wanted to stay in 32%, you could keep doing it that way, or you could just say, all right, we'll take, 100 grand a year out of dad's inherited IRA, and then we'll start converting a chunk of money from our traditional accounts to keep us in the 32% tax bracket.
Okay.
And you could do it at the 24%. It'll take you longer, but you could do it. I have a feeling the problem for you guys is you just have so much money that it's going to be hard for you to be in a very low tax bracket at any point. You're just not going to get there.
I don't know. I get the sense that they would benefit from working with somebody.
I think maybe, but Elizabeth's a control freak and she has a little habit, which she likes to, have fun with. I think you could work with somebody. Do you have a CPA that you like?
Yes. I do.
Okay. So, you could do this with the CPA and talk to the CPA and say to him or her, hey, you know what? We know we have this huge ticking time bomb called the money that we have in the traditional account that I inherited and the traditional accounts that, we maintain. And you can say, what we really would like to do is work with you so that every year, as long as we can, we want to convert as much money from our traditional accounts into our Roth accounts. We'll use the cash on hand because you have 400 grand. So honestly, and plus 100, you have like $500,000 in cash just as is. That even does not include the sale of the buildings that you have. So, I would convert. I have one more question for you just before we kind of continue with this pathway, which is, would you consider yourselves charitable? Would you like to be charitable?
Yes. And I have a scholarship set up fund for my high school.
Oh, nice.
It's small, but I'm charitable.
Okay. Have you heard me or anyone talk about something called a donor advised fund?
Yes.
Okay. This is how I would use this. The scholarship fund, is that run through another organization? Is it a 501c3? Is it,
No.
It's not. So we need that to happen because otherwise, you setting up a scholarship is just going into the universe with you're not getting the benefit that you could get from it.
Okay.
Which is fine. It doesn't mean that you can't have that scholarship fund, but that should not be the bulk of your giving.
Okay.
Okay. A donor advised fund is going to help you with a couple of different things. One is the Vanguard S&P 500 fund that you have right now, the $1.5 million. And this is something you can work on with the CPA after tax season, I would tell you, because they're not going to be happy to talk to you before then. That $1.5 million, I'm not saying you should put all of it into a donor advised fund. But let's say that next year, so I don't know how long it'll really take you to say I'm done working, but you should be done tomorrow as far as I'm concerned. If you took 100, 200 grand, you could just take 200 grand a year for the next few years and gift that into a donor advised fund. You would gift shares of the Vanguard S&P 500. You could do this at Vanguard, by the way. They have donor advised funds through Vanguard. They'll help you set it up. They will do the accounting for you. You're going to say, I'm going to take this highly appreciated Vanguard S&P 500 fund. I'm going to put 200 grand into my donor advised fund. You're going to get a tax deduction for 200 grand the day you do that. The following year, you could do the same thing. And now you could front load it. You could say, let me do this for a few years while you're doing your Roth conversions, by the way, because those Roth conversions add to your tax liability. The Vanguard, the donor advised fund will help you with your tax liability.
Okay.
Now, again, you could do this with a CPA. You could do this with a financial planner. You really can. But I'm just giving you the basic construct. You could put as much money into this donor advised fund as you want. Maybe you try to get, the $1.5 million down to $1 million. And you're not taking any tax hit for doing that. In fact, you get a tax benefit. Okay. So you don't have to sell the Vanguard S&P 500. They transfer the money in. The money is whatever goes in. That is your charitable contribution into that fund. From that fund, you can make charitable gifts over time. You don't have to do it all at once. You can do it at any time you'd like. And you're going to have a slug of money in there, and you can even invest the money inside of the donor advised fund. You don't do a lot of that, but you want to keep growing it, not like in a huge way, but this takes a lot of your risk off the table of that Vanguard fund, right? Okay. Now on the dad stuff, I mean, like it sort of seems to me you have a huge allocation to the S&P 500 fund, right?
Yeah.
So that to me could be sold and reallocated, and you're going to pay some small tax on it. Again, you should really work with someone just to help you understand your tax liability. So if your cost basis for the S&P 500, $639,000, let's just say you inherited it and it was $580,000 and now it's $640,000, you'll have to pay capital gains on that differential. Okay. It's not a big deal. So you pay capital gains tax. Same thing with those 14 individual stocks, because those, I think you probably own, I'm guessing, unless you have some weird nostalgic thing, it doesn't matter. Like you might as well just use these assets to kind of round out your allocation so that you're no longer 80-20 or 90-10, that we really would like to get you to be somewhat more balanced. Okay. And Mark's idea of working with a financial planner, with a fiduciary financial planner, would only be helpful in that they would take all of this together and build a strategy for you. And you have a lot of money, guys. It just depends like where you want to spend your time, because maybe this is something that you feel like, Elizabeth, you're like, I love doing this. Maybe this is like your retirement fun. Is it?
No. Well, no. I mean, I just got so used to saving and doing all this on my own. And my dad was always he did it on his own. But I kind of feel like if I had somebody trustworthy to maybe direct it, maybe I'd be happier.
I guess the most important thing that I can say today is if you've gone through a health scare and you've been thinking about this, let's do it. And let's, and maybe what you're doing for the rest of this year is to sketch out to yourselves how you would manage this money. Maybe that's going to be like the way you transition. And then you're going to give yourself permission to do whatever you want to do. I would even say you could spend more than $8,000 a month. I really would. I know you said 7. I moved it to 8. How, and you're going to have to pay. The 7,000 doesn't include health insurance. Oh, would you pay for your own health insurance?
Yes. I do pay for my own health insurance. Yes. Yeah.
These guys, you're not going to spend all the money. And I guess the other piece of it is you only have one child. There is a lot of estate planning that you guys need to do around making sure that this money is tied up for him as well. Right. Okay. Yep. Okay. I think I'm done with you guys. What else any other questions for us?
My only other one is how to set everything up to make this easy for my son, but I think I do need to find somebody to help me with that. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, then we're done with you. You guys are going to get us some hate mail, but you know what? I feel like this is a good story and you're going to give yourselves some peace of mind. Go ahead and do it and have fun. Okay. You promise? Have fun.
I'll say this. I started out in a job at $30,000 a year. I've been working since I'm 16. I saved my whole life. So I get it. People will have hate against people who accumulated wealth, but it took a lot of doing to get to this point.
Yeah, everyone. Okay. So no judgment. Listen, my mother used to always say this, and she does say it still. Rich or poor, it's nice to have money. It does. It's better. It doesn't make cancer go away, but if you get to the other side of it, you can have a lot of fun and spend your money. We're going to Vegas, Mark. I can't wait. Okay. Hang in there. We're going to get you some names of folks that you might want to talk to. So if you are at the cusp of making a big decision, like Elizabeth and John, get in touch with us. Just go to the website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and of course, let us know if you want to come on the air by checking the box. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And of course, lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.